Alright guys, welcome to Daddy Share Space and welcome to my channel. So right here I have an assortment of things that I've been working on here. Let me see if I can get a closer look. So this right here is the water pump that came off of the 91 Saab. If you take a look here, you can see the outside opening here. So when I bought this water pump, basically it came with a gasket. So I had to take this whole component right here off. This portion, I had to remove all these bolts here. And there's a gasket that goes between this outer portion here and the water pump housing. So the water pump is just this portion without the back part and also without this circular portion here. So all of this I had to attach to the water pump. So anyways, I've already put this water pump back on twice, and I imagine it's leaking from somewhere around here. Now when I took this off, it didn't have any kind of gasket on it. So the last time I actually put some silicone gasket stuff on here to try to make it work. It didn't work. My theory is there's a possibility that there may be a little bit of warping or unevenness between here and the manifold on the engine. So what I did originally, I took some tracing paper and I put it over here and I tried to trace out this outline, and it was a pretty rough drawing basically. So I ended up having to go ahead and change my approach. So in changing my approach, what I did was I took a piece of plexiglass like this right here, just a piece of plastic, right? So I took this piece of plastic, I cut it with my Festool table saw with the acrylic cutting blade, and that's going to give me the ability to basically make a piece of plastic that'll go over here so I can lay it on here, because this doesn't sit flat, right? It just kind of sits in different angles and tilts over. So when I had the paper up here and was trying to trace over it, it just wasn't working like I would have liked it. So what my idea was to cut a piece of plastic. Once I got a strip of plastic similar to like this here, I set it down over the top, and then I took a marker and I traced the outline. And once I finished that, I came up with this particular design here. Let me see if I can move it so you can see what it looks like. I came up with this. So this is a piece of plastic with the outline of the manifold there. And so once I finished with this piece of plastic, what I did is I took a piece of tracing paper like this, and I put it down over the top, and then I traced the outline. And then once I traced the outline, I just folded the piece of paper and made another copy just in case I needed it. Once I finished with this stage, I went and I put this on the copy machine, and I made a copy like this. So I have two independent, basically models. And then once I made these models, what I did is I went into my wife's office and I took some cardstock, which you see on the back here. This is just yellow cardstock. It's a little bit thicker paper. And as you can see here, I've already cut out one right here. So what I did was, as you can see here, I taped a piece of regular paper to the top of the cardstock, and I used X-Acto knives like these here to cut out this shape. Once I cut out the shape, then I came up with, obviously I had two pieces here. I ended up with, of course, the paper outline, which is not going to hold up very well, but then I also came up with a cardstock outline, and that cardstock outline gave me the ability to have a little bit more of a firm piece of paper. And I took that paper, and this right here is called Cometic, and it's a material that you could use to make gaskets. And so what I did is I laid this template on top of here. I cut a section off, and then once I cut that section off, then I went back to using the X-Acto knives here, and this little cutting board that my wife has for her sewing stuff, and I used it to cut out this gasket, which we have here. So this is made of the Cometic, and I may end up having to drill out the holes a little bit more so that the screws fit through, because if you look at the component here, you can see the holes are not quite that small. But basically the way this is going to fit, let's see if I can get it in the shot, is it's going to sit up here just like this, and I'm still going to use the silicone as well to try to clamp all this down, and hopefully that's going to prevent any kind of leaking on the Saab. I'm planning on getting up early tomorrow and starting the reassembly process, and I'll have to, you know, kind of report back and let you guys know how it worked out. But anyways, there's a rubber ring that goes around this portion that's already on the car, and another one that goes down here, and that one's also installed on the car. So all I was waiting was to do this gasket. It was just so hot outside that I just wasn't up to doing it. It's both been hot outside and also hot in the shop, so I hadn't been doing a lot of projects in the shop as well. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to share this little small update about what I'm doing to try to get the Saab back on the road. I'm pretty much willing to do anything at this point, because I do not want any kind of car payment, and I do not want to get in any kind of debt. So this is kind of like my last ditch effort to try to get this part fixed. If this doesn't work, obviously, you know, I'm not totally gonna give up, but basically this is just another step in the process. And one of the challenges to being a DIYer is the fact that you have to you know, come up with things on your own, because, you know, this gasket did not come with the water pump that I ordered. And as I said before, I didn't even notice that there was a gasket on here when I took it off. This was pretty much bare. It seemed like it was bare metal to bare metal. But we'll see what happens. I did read somewhere that this may deteriorate when liquid gets on it. And the sealer, or the actual gasket silicone that I'm going to use on here, I think it requires several hours to cure before I can actually run the car. So I'm hoping I get all this finished, because I'm off on Monday, and I will be, if I get it fixed, then I'll take it up to get the smog done, and then hopefully get the car back on the road. We'll see. I do also have this cork style gasket that I found. It's called cork rubber sheet. It's a lot thicker than the Cometic. You can see by comparison. I may use this if this portion doesn't work. I guess I could go ahead and maybe cut one of the gaskets out now, but I think I'll go ahead and wait for now. So this just comes in a roll, as does the Cometic here, right here. So anyways, guys, thanks for taking time to check out the short video. I'll see you in my next one. I'll let you guys know how this works out.